Hey everyone, Thyworm here with another solo self-found video for Path of Exile. I have found another strategy, this time combining Einhar with Harvest. The whole idea of this strategy is that on the one hand we spec heavily into Einhar, we capture a bunch of beasts, and while doing that we receive a very specific buff that I will get into. And this buff allows you to have a much easier time at Harvest. But first, we do the Scarabs. Now normally I'm running these 4 Scarabs. So I'm running the Harvest Scarab of doubling the life force by the Harvest monsters, and also they get more life, but that's kind of irrelevant almost. I tend to create a copy of any beast that I capture, because that's just nice if you want to beastcraft later down the line. And then I spawn 5 additional red beasts and another 5 additional red beasts. Because I'm solo self-found, so I don't have like endless supplies of Scarabs and I can't buy them. So I just have to make do with what I have. But what I did find, and this is going to be a little bit of a treat for you guys, I found myself just in the last couple of maps that I farmed a Harvest Scarab of Cornucopia. This is incredibly rare, and it will contain up to 1 additional tier 4 seed of each type if possible. So we'll put that in instead of the copy of the beasts. We're not gonna get a copy, and this is the map we'll be running. It is a Jungle Valley map. The reason for this is Jungle Valley tends to have a lot of beasts. Let's look at the Atlas. I have spec'd into pretty much everything of Bestiary, and I just want to mention that this is not an optimized Atlas. I am aware of that. This is just to get basically every node and get you all of the insights that I can by taking each and every node. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be taking all of these different nodes, but now I am, so that I can tell you what it's all about. So the nodes that we have is just a bunch of chance for Einhar to spawn. He is at 100%. We have him remaining in our maps even though he kills all the monsters, which is pretty good, you know, that's some damage, and it's just fun to have him around. Yellow beast to be replaced with red beasts, that's clearly very good. Over here, this is the interesting one. Here you have the Hunter's Cunning, and the Hunter's Cunning grants you a buff. We'll get into that as soon as I have it in the map. You will be able to see what this is. But what you will see happen is that these red beasts, they can break free out of their traps, and once they do, you get a stack of the buff. So you kill them, they break free, you have to kill them again, they can break free again. This is endless in theory. This is a 50%, and then if it hits, the percentages are reset. It is then another 50%. So you can have red beasts that break free 8 times in a row. I have had this already, providing you 8 stacks of Hunter's Cunning. I'm taking this whole wheel so that we have a chance to contain additional red beasts. This I don't think you actually need, but I took it anyway. And that is it for the Bestiary. And then I took a bunch of harvest nodes, more increased chance for tier 4 and crops not to wilt. So over here you got spawn chancers, life force to be duplicated 10% of the time, but happens quite often. Here, more experience. I mean, that's not even that bad either, because I'm trying to level. 50% to contain additional harvest. And then here, more spawn chance. So I have, without putting anything else in, or a map device option, I have a 100% chance to spawn the Sacred Grove and 100% chance to spawn Einhar. The rest is just Scarabs and your standard stuff. I'll zoom out a little bit. This is actually a tree that you could copy, and then I would tweak it a little bit, because there are nodes in here you really don't need. Like I said, I just wanted to show you. Alright, then it is time to actually run this map. I am just using item quantity. And the reason for that is that because I don't think any other of these crafts works. What you could do, of course, is use the harvest on your map device and then save you a bunch of points on the tree and put that into something else. That's definitely an option you have. Like I said, I'm not min-maxing this strategy, I just want to show you what you can do. So for now, I only have the 8% quantity of items, which is still pretty decent, I think. Here you have the tree I just showed and the scarabs. So let's dive in, and then I will also explain what is going on. Now, typically, but not always, you will see that there are a lot of beasts in this map. So this is a beast, this is a beast. Ghouls are apparently beasts. The others are not. But for example, the rarity, we can create some beasts yourself if you so please. For example, harmless frogs or something. We got them anyway, right? So let's put some additional beasts in there just for the rarity, and that will actually yield some results. We are just going to run this. It's a jungle valley. There's a good reason for this, because it contains a bunch of beasts, but also because the layout is not too difficult. And here we already have them. Now, what you may see happen, let me try to not die here. What you may see happen is that I kill these, right? And then they come back to life. Now, it might be a little bit hard to see because there's so many of them. And they spawn a bunch of other monsters as well. But as soon as we've killed a few, like you can see, right? I got both of them. And now see, this one goes back to life. And he's been doing that now a few times already. It would be quite nice if I don't die. Now he's getting captured again. Look, back to life. That gives me another stack, but you only get the stacks as soon as he's actually dead. Actually captured for real. Before that you do not get the stacks. So that's important to realize. So if you're like, hey, why am I not getting a stack? You are stacks. You're getting stacks, but only if he actually captured them. See, he revived again. Now, this is a particularly difficult guy. But this is a very great example of exactly what I wanted to show you. Revived again. Okay, there we go. So we got him. So I already have 8 stacks of Hunter's Cunning. Now what is Hunter's Cunning? And here it explains it very well. Each stack of Hunter's Cunning grants 2% less damage taken from beasts and 10% increased damage to beasts, as well as 5% increased item quantity and 5% increased item rarity for items found from slain beasts. So right now I have 40% item quantity, and this is gonna stack up quite a bit because I have quite some beasts to go, and all of these beasts can do this. So I'll explain a bit further the strategies and how I've been sort of running these maps. So I'm not gonna wait every time for these guys to, you know, actually die. I'm just going to drag them along through the map while killing them over and over again. That is sort of the strategy that I've typically used. So I am just going to take this guy for a ride basically. He will keep getting captured and I will keep killing him over and over again. Sometimes I have to lure him back in until the moment you get a soul eater, because the moment you get a soul eater you have to kill him, because otherwise it gets completely out of control. But otherwise it's completely fine. So you can see his, and I know these guys are still alive because Einhar isn't saying anything. See, now he's saying something. So we got about 19 stacks and we had 21 beasts. This is actually pretty average. On average I'm getting about 1 stack per beast in the map. This is the 20th map that I run and it is incredibly consistent. And that is probably, if you would do some math on this, which I can't really, but I can sort of try and figure it out. But the 50% is not actually 50%, right? Because it can trigger over and over again. So I think, all in all, at the end of the day, my experience so far is that you have 20 beasts in the map, roughly. That's also very consistent. I get about 20 beasts in the map every time. And I also get about 20-ish stacks of the Hunter's Cunning. meaning that at the moment I have 95% item quality and rarity and 190% increased damage to beasts, which is a more multiplier, right? And now there should be tier 4 beasts in here. Let's see if that's actually true. Here it's not true yet, but it did not wilt the other crops, so that's okay. But this has now become incredibly easy, as you can see. And even this, like they don't really hurt me anymore because I'm also taking 38% less damage from beasts. Okay. So there is the tier 4 seed, right? That's from the Scarabs, so that makes sense. You do a load of damage against the bear. Oh. No, we're good. See? Dead. And I got a Sacred Blossom, which is also a rare outcome, right? But I have increased rarity against these guys too. So I think that all helps. And you might even drop one of their uniques as well. So I wanted to finish the video with some pros and cons. Also to try and bring a bit of structure to these videos, right? So I found two main cons. The first is, as you could have seen in the gameplay, it can be quite tedious of a playstyle. You're constantly killing these beasts, they're constantly reviving. And especially if you have a map layout that is not Jungle Valley, but something, you know, like Spider Forest or something, it's very, very annoying to do, I think, in my opinion. So that is definitely a con for me. The other is that you have to invest significantly into the Atlas passive tree without that much returns. But there are, I think, plenty of positives as well. The first being that I think there is quite some potential for scaling with map effect, more juice, more item quantity. I'm not really doing any of that, but you definitely can. You can get much more juice, I think even in solo self-found, than I'm getting right now. Second is it's the best and pretty much only source, it seems right now, for harvest juice. And to illustrate that, this was the 20th map. I started with pretty much 0. I have now 20k purple, 13k yellow and 10k blue, plus one, well, I got one of the Sacred Blossoms as well, right? So I can also fight the boss right now. Third point, it's very consistent. So you get consistently with the Scarabs that I used about 20 monsters, 20 beasts in the map, and you also very consistently get 20 stacks. And, you know, if you care about it, but last but not least, you need these things for challenges. So if you're in solo self-found and you want to complete the challenges, which is what I want to do, then you have to at some point in time do this. You will have the Scarabs anyway. I mean, what else are you going to do with it? This is solo self-found. And so, yeah, probably an interesting strategy. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for me, also let me know in the comments. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching and staying around till the end. Love you all. See you soon. Bye bye.